Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You guys are watching Legendary You, where I help you help you. I decided to go live today because normally I usually like make videos like the night before, or sometimes I like make them in the weekend, and then I'll like have them all like prepped and ready to go and like. But you know how like life happens and you just don't have time for anything anymore. But I was like, you know what? There's no excuses. I'm going to remain consistent. I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to remain consistent and I'm going to post no matter what. So here we are on live. And I find that this is actually a pretty easy way for you to create a video. So I can just click the little button and like bam. So we about to get this in real time. So today, the topic I wanted to touch on was how to get out of a funk. This is something that I'm sure I don't. I love the word funk, right? I love the words that are not that are adjacent to depression and all that stuff because we overuse like depression, depressive symptoms, and all of these things. Like sometimes you're just feeling down and you're not necessarily depressed, diagnostically depressed. Like so, I think it's great for us not to catastrophize what we're going on at the moment, not to make things like worse than what they actually are, and just talk in plain language. You got a funky attitude right now. You feel like you're in a funk, you're down, nothing's going right, you just don't feel good, you don't feel like yourself, you don't feel 100%. And that's fine. So, how do you get out of this? How do you maneuver yourself out of that feeling? I would say, let's use myself as an example. Earlier this week, I have a tendency to do a lot of things all at one time, and I got to the point last week where it created like this like super ball of like just chaos in my life, and I could not figure out exactly how was it like find enough strength? It's just like it's the juggle. It's like my other video. I wish I could had a way to put that video. But there's another video I was talking about like juggling all of your life's happenings, right? You're just juggling or juggling, and then another opportunity is like, bam, you're juggling, like man, you're it's like you're doing so good, and you're keeping everything up, but then you tap out, you become exhausted, and you get into a funk. You're not depressed. You're not sad. You're just overwhelmed and you get into a funk. And for me, when I get into those kind of moments where I start to feel that way, what I normally do is I have to immediately recognize that I am in that funk because that's a really big problem. Like we don't we don't know that we actually feel terrible and then we bring ourselves around other people and then guess what, they're like, ooh, what's wrong with you, like you just got a stanky attitude, you're being pessimistic, you're being negative, you're being toxic right now, like what's wrong with you? And that's because you haven't quite recognized that you in a funky mood and you probably should not be around other people. Like you gotta protect your inner, you gotta protect protect yourself from other people, but also protect other people from you. You don't want to be the person to just like be a Debbie Downer and you're just ruining situations because you haven't got your ish together. Like take the time, figure out if you're not 100% like, or even take heed to what's because you know somebody said something to you at some point through your day or through your week. Like, hey, what's wrong with you? Or if everybody keep asking what's wrong with you and you go like nothing, then something is wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. Don't get all defensive like, oh, why something got to be wrong? I just like no, people are just concerned like that. That's another thing too. Learn how to accept help. But I don't want to go down on a tangent. I don't want to go on a tangent. But we're talking about your funky attitude or being in a funk. Sorry, um, but being in the funk, how being in the funk can turn into a funky attitude. But when somebody says something like "What's wrong?" then that's the moment where you need to take a second to explore, like what's wrong, what's going on. Are you enjoying life how you normally enjoy life? Are you listening to music? Are you singing along to the songs like you normally do? Are you going outside for walks? Are you doing all your normal activities? Are you enjoying life how you normally enjoy life? If you're not participating in a majority of your regular routine activities, then chances are you need to really figure out like what's happening, like what's going on. Why do you feel this way? And one thing that I realize and that I'm finding like looking through all my cases, and I have the lucky opportunity to be a practicing therapist and be able to have access to so many cases and just reading all of these different things that are happening with people. I come to realize like nobody's where they want to be. Nobody has achieved their ultimate goals. Like we're all striving towards it. And I think the pressure of needing to be there ASAP is creating this like hyperbolic like reaction to like their circumstances in their life. Like I don't know, and then we could blame it on social media. We could blame actually through the rest of these videos we could blame everything on social media. But we do have like systemic pressures, pressures from like your peers, pressures from your parents, pressure from from everywhere that you need to be a baller right now. You need to be uber successful right now in order for, and this happens with dating too. And this is uh, a really big thing that pressures people is dating, the trying to attract the opposite sex. You know, the peacocking. I know that's like probably like a term like people haven't used in a while, but like the peacocking, like people do these things. You have to show that you are something, that you're not lame, you're not corny, you're not a loser, and you have to act like that you are way more successful than you actually are. And this is my curiosity at 23, 24, 25 years old, how successful should you realistically be at that age? Like most people are just graduating college, and God forbid if you went to go get your master's, right? You're going to be broke for a little bit. You're going to be broke to your 30s. So these expectations for you to be successful, or you putting this pressure on yourself to do more than what you're actually doing right now, is unreasonable. And that's a lesson that you have to like take. You have to hear that. And I don't know how you get to hear this message, but hopefully you can listen to my videos or watch my videos so you can get this lesson. But you have got to get that pressure off yourself and allow your journey to be your journey. Let's see, I think we got a question. I was on a little roll. All right, I'll get to the questions. I'll get to the questions later, but let's see. It's not letting me see the chats. Oh, so the question in the chat. Sorry, I got distracted, guys. But it's like, how do you know whether you're suffering from a depression or you're just in a funk? This is a good question because, like I started this video. Like, don't automatically jump to like, I'm depressed. I'm all of these different things, or oh my gosh, I have anxiety. Like, don't overuse these terms. Sometimes, if you're in a funk, it's just it could be something as simple as like just life happenings, and that's what I like to think about it like this is life happenings. Now, if you're in a depression, like yeah, you might have a chemical imbalance. You may have depressive symptoms that extend longer than a certain period of time, which you need to fit a certain criteria to fit inside the DSM-5 and blah 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 etc etc. Right? If you're experiencing those symptoms, like I said, for extended like longer than 3 months, longer than 6 months, something like that, yeah, you should probably talk to a therapist. But if you feel like from time to time, from day to day, that you're just not feeling well, or you're just sad or you're down, or if you like you said, if you took the time to really like think about where where your feelings are coming from, where this down, where you why what's making you feel down. If you take the time to evaluate that, then it'll be easy for you to decipher between the two. So just picking up kind of where I left off, navigating like being in a funk. You once you explore like those feelings, once you explore all of those things, like you could take a couple of steps. right? To address that, one, relinquish yourself of the pressure. Like I said, if you are having, if you do feel like majority of everyone who feels pressure by society to do all of these different things, then you gotta relinquish it. And realistically, like allow yourself to say like, all right, this is my journey. I am where I am. Oh well, too bad. Whoever has a problem with it, too bad. If somebody if somebody don't like you because you're not rich right now, whatever, then whatever. Like, probably 9 times out of 10, a broke person said that to you. So I wouldn't sweat any of those things. And number two, what you got to do is figure out what makes you feel good. And if it's ice cream, if it's going on walks, if it's talking to your friend on the phone, if it's playing soccer, if it's running, if it's going to the river, if it's gardening, whatever that thing may be, try to do that. Try to do it as much as you can and just clear your mind and just think and just regroup and just to give yourself some space away from other people because you don't want anyone else bleeding into your funk and intruding on your funk because to be honest, like, I don't want to say like wallow in your sorrows, but it is appropriate for if you don't feel good, if you don't feel well, yeah, take some me time. Take some time to yourself because that's the one thing that we really need to do as humans. We have to like take a second and sit down and regroup and just gather ourselves. We don't do that because we fill up all of our free time with BS from the internet. Like we on TikTok, we scrolling on Instagram, we looking at YouTube videos, we looking at all these different things. We're not taking any time to like do any maintenance, like self maintenance. And that's a big thing. Like if you could incorporate anything from this video, that's the biggest thing. It's just like incorporate those times where you're just doing nothing with this extra space. Instead of using social media as a filler, do some self maintenance. Stretch, sit on the floor and stretch. Do some yoga. Listen to some music. Music is a great way to just like refill your cup, revitalize your soul. Some good music. Not none of that toxic stuff where everybody get murdered in the first like 2 seconds of the song. Like you have to you have to like get some good soulful music that you can sing along to talk about love and relationships and just having fun and living life. That'll be that those two steps are probably my two favorite steps. Let's just make sure that you identify what's going on, get yourself away from other people, and work on some self maintenance. And I think that would bode very well for you, especially along your journey, because oftentimes like we just have all these like different maladaptive behaviors where we're just creating our own problems. So if you just take that time, explore, see if you're creating your own problems, and actually take some time to work on that maintenance, fill up that extra space with some self maintenance, like you'll be good. Try to learn some yoga, try to learn a breathing technique, learn a meditation, learn something, teach yourself something. Like YouTube is a cool, super cool thing. Like when I was growing up, not to age myself, but like man, if I needed to know something, I had to open up an encyclopedia when I was a kid. I didn't have an opportunity to go on YouTube and like type in anything and learn from another person. So I hope this helps you guys. Like I just wanted to, kind of leave this information to kind of help you guys because I was kind of like dealing with it as well. And like I know sometimes we can think that like, oh, just because I'm in a low mood today it doesn't mean I'm depressed. It doesn't mean you're oh, I need to be on medication. Like no, you just sometimes you just go through a funk and you have a funky attitude and you just need to stay away from people and you need to like get yourself right before you get back out into this world. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and stay tuned. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. I will have another video coming out Thursday for sure. So take care of yourselves. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.